I'm Sydney, welcome back to my Flock and Squawk. This week I'm making King Arthur's Dog Biscuit Mix. This one is their pumpkin and apple dog biscuit mix. And then I also got their dog pan. I purchased mine as a set where it came with 2 mixes and the pan, but I know on their website you can order these separate. So I'm going to be using the method that they actually provide for the dog baking pan, which is ever so slightly different than what you use if you're cutting out the biscuits with a cookie cutter. So some information on the back of the box. It can make up to 88 dog biscuits. To make them, you'd need 1/2 cup of water, 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, and 1 large egg. It also gives instructions for if you want to substitute and use peanut butter in the biscuits. And then the instructions are fairly straightforward. You preheat your oven to 350, which I've done before I started filming. Whisk everything together. If the dough is a little dry, it says to add some water until it comes together. And then you either roll it out or put it into the baking pan. You bake them for 18 to 22 minutes. Turn the oven off and leave them in to dry, and with the instructions included with the baking pan, you turn them onto a cookie sheet and then you let them hang out in the oven like it says on here till they're all completely dry. With drying out the biscuits, it makes them more shelf stable to store over a little bit longer period of time. Nowhere on the box does it say that these aren't safe for human consumption, and reading the ingredients, I have a feeling that you could eat them. Should we take a sneaky nibble? So it's only been a few minutes, probably about 5-ish, to mix up this dough. It now has like almost a Play-Doh-esque consistency. When you squish it, it holds whatever shape your hand was. And it has a little bit of like a green fleck to it. Oats are definitely visible and present. And yeah, my instructions now say to put a tablespoon of dough in each little well dog bone and pat it in and then bake. So they've been in the oven about 8 minutes or so, and the kitchen smells both appealing and unappealing. It's kind of like a little bit of an applesauce-y smell, but also just there's something about it that's not quite right. So just a little aside to the baking, that it kind of reeks in here. Is that your alley? Look at how cute you are. All right, so the second batch has come out and I put it on the baking sheet and it's in the oven like the instructions say. But just another note, the scent has been upgraded, or the scent in this house is now more reminiscent of like hot ketchup, which still isn't good nor bad. It's just sort of like, how odd. Kind of off-putting, but also not like entirely negative. So that's where we're at on the scent and state of this house. All right, so these guys have been drying in the oven for almost 2 hours now, and this is what they look like. Here is one of them up close. They aren't as uniform and neat as what the pictures kind of portray, which probably comes down to how I got them in the pan, but this is what they look like. They don't smell strongly of anything, but let's give this to my puppy dog Sappho and see what she thinks of it. Would you like this treat? Sit. You gotta give a good review, or what are your thoughts on this? Any thoughts on the biscuit? Thank you, Sappho. So I have Connor here with me since it's so enticing. I've got a couple little pieces of biscuit and we're gonna try it out. Connor agreed to this. I'm not holding him hostage.
It smells good. It smells like apple, like dried apple.
Yeah, the actual treat smells all right.
Dink.
It tastes like the crust of a whole grain bread.
It's very bland, is what I was gonna say. Like, but then there's that after bit of apple. Yeah, it's like.
I didn't taste any apple in my time. I just took a little crunch off of this.
I just ate the whole thing.
It's drying.
It's very dry. It sucks the moisture out of your mouth. Mm-hmm. And it does taste like whole grain, like almost whole grain toast of sorts.
Yeah, like when you toast whole grain bread and you get that like extra crunchy, dry piece of the bread crust. Mm-hmm. Not bad.
So, yeah, it's not the worst thing I've had.
No, and nothing on the box says that you shouldn't consume it as a human.
It had all edible ingredients going in.
Yep, so we'll just wrap it up here. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you flock and squawk again with me sometime. I make videos like this and crafting and just sort of whatever I'm feeling. We do occasionally do vlogs and that type of thing. Quite a few taste tests over here on the channel as well. Hint, hint for maybe next week. But yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.